Yeah, I will be changing my number to number 11. It's a very important number for me. Goes all the way down through my father, the number I've worn mostly throughout my whole career. I obviously wouldn't have done none of this without the blessing of Bob Davis's family and getting together and telling them how much it means to me and how I can show respect towards him, the family, and the number. And they were very thrilled to hear from me, and it was a very exciting thing that we have been doing all season with them, and we're very excited for this actually.
Audio Jungle.
And a good Friday afternoon to everybody. How we doing? It's the King's Court live here on If You Don't Like That. We have got a full day, and I mean a full day of content for you. It is a free for all Friday, meaning you can take the show any direction you want. Yes, I am going back to cans today. I'm not sure why I decided to do it, but I'm going to try the cans out. We're going to see how this works for this show. Don't usually do it, but why not? Why the heck not on a Friday? I do have some talking points. That was Domas right at the top. Credit or to Sean Cunningham, Fox 40, had an interview with Domas, and yes, all you with Domas Sabonis jerseys, unless you used your Amex card. I don't know if a number change qualifies for the jersey exchange, but it is time to get a new Domas jersey. He is going back to number 11, the number that his dad wore, the number that he wore most of his college and high school, whatever you want to call it, career, amateur career. So that will be a change for him. You know, on Fridays, anybody is welcome to drop into the King's Court. And usually that means we're going to get a visit from one haunted horse. Yes, cat guy. He is going to probably pop in at some point. My guess is sooner rather than later, knowing him. And by the way, Haunted Horse is really, really proud of himself right now, like really proud of himself. He thinks he brought something back that's been gone for a long time. If you are a Jim Rome listener or you're involved in that show at all, then you're probably aware of what came back late this week. And Haunted Horse is actually the one that is starting to take credit for it. In fact, Haunted Horse thinks he tipped Jim and the team off to this. We'll let him explain, but he is patting himself on the back. He's doing a victory lap right now. So he'll be up in here in a little bit. What did everybody think of the hockey game last night? Did you happen to catch that one? If you turned it off after the second period, then you missed an amazing third period. Edmonton almost comes all the way back, and it made me think, is there a more exciting few minutes, more nerve-wracking few minutes in sports than when a team is down a goal? You don't usually see it when they're tied, but when a team's down a goal, especially if they're on their home ice and they pull the goalie, I love that. And I know I'm kind of the new guy around here with hockey, but I really enjoyed watching that one. Edmonton, I thought, was going to pull it off. They came all the way back to 4-3, but couldn't get it done. They had a hell of a look. But Bobrovsky, the goalie for Florida, this guy's unreal. They were talking about some of the stats from last season compared to this season from Florida. And it just tells you, much like Boston, there's a reason they're up 3-0 in their series. They dropped goals allowed by almost, I believe it was just over 70 goals this season. So that is a hell of a number, a tribute to him. And actually, if you were watching the entire game, you're thinking to yourself, what's going on? Like, is Florida down 4-1? Why are they playing like that? Because they didn't change their style of play. Sure, they shoot the puck down the ice a few times, make Edmonton run some clock. But the pressure that they continue to put on, there was a hit where one of the Edmonton guys got sent into the Florida bench. Hockey at its finest. So I know Sea Dog will probably want to talk about that. Hey, we also have the US Open cut day going. Tiger, I believe, is still on the course. I've got that playing in the background. The course, usually the US Open right around par, maybe a little bit under, wins the tournament. But I don't know. These guys are shooting. I don't know what they're going to do to get that course back. I thought the greens were supposed to be like concrete. Apparently not, but we can talk about that. And by the way, Father's Day this weekend. With Father's Day coming up, if there's any stories, if you're lucky enough to still have your father, if you've lost your father, if you have any stories that you want to share about him, put them in the chat. If you want to put it or call in, especially if it has to do with the Kings or anything like that, I would love to hear some of those. I see the chat already getting busy. We've got 47 that have already checked in as well. Game 4 NBA Finals. I was shocked at something that I looked at. So, no team has ever come back from a 0-3 deficit in the NBA Finals. So, Degenerate Rhino started thinking, I wonder what the odds would be if you took the bet right now for Dallas to win the series. And the odds actually were not as good as I thought they'd be. So we can hit that. And then also, this is going to be what we start with. Did you hear the Bill Simmons podcast that was released yesterday with Doc Rivers? If you didn't, I am about to clue you in on this podcast. And it was bizarre. And I mean really bizarre, to say the least. Doc Rivers, he does things differently at times. I get that he's a player's coach, but I think he kind of went over the line here in regards to Damian Lillard. So you remember Damian Lillard last offseason, it was the big thing. Where's Dame going to end up? He asked for a trade. He wanted out of Portland. And finally, towards the end of the summer, Dame gets moved. And that triggers a couple of moves, right? And Doc shared some personal information about Dame and how he came into camp, and even some, I would say, not even anything that has to do with basketball, stuff about his personal life, which some people, especially those that were in Portland, were aware of. But, I feel like some of this would have been Dame's to share and not Doc's, especially considering how the season ended for Milwaukee. You got Giannis, who wasn't on the floor, right? You also have Dame, who was battling to stay on the floor. He missed some playoff time. He came back that last game, barely played. So that's what makes what Doc said even more bizarre. And I want to get everybody else's take on that as well, because I'm going to lay it out right here in a second. We'll get to the chat in a little bit. If you want to call the show, 916-399-3748, or you can hit the link at the top of the chat. That will allow you to call through Restream. You don't have to be on video for that. You do have to go through a step or two of registration, but it is completely free. Those that have called, the process. It is not that hard. And then 8 o'clock tonight, Napes and I, we will be back. We're going to do another NBA Finals post game. Will we be talking about the Larry O being raised, or are we going to be talking about a game 5 in Boston? I think this one's over. I don't see how Dallas wins this game. If they win the game, does it really change anything? I don't think so. I just don't see the path of Dallas getting to a point where they could even force a game 7. Boston has just played way, way too good. So keep it going in the chat. We will get to those in a little bit, especially if you got stories about Pops. I might share a story or two about Pops as well. But we are going to start with the news or the story, I shouldn't say news, that I was just talking about. And that is the Doc Rivers appearance on the Bill Simmons podcast. So Doc Rivers goes on Bill Simmons talking about the season, talking about the decision to coach for Milwaukee, et cetera, et cetera. And this is from the New York Post. I think I'm just going to read directly from here. They do a good job of summarizing it. But here you go. Doc Rivers said it was really hard. That is a quote unquote, really hard to navigate Damian Lillard's personal situation after arriving mid-season to the Bucks. Okay. Again, is this territory for Doc to be sharing, or is this territory for Dame to be sharing? Keep this in mind. Lillard, who spent 11 seasons with the Trailblazers before being traded to Milwaukee last September, admitted he was out of shape while dealing with his divorce from his estranged wife. No need to say her name. Quote unquote, that was really hard, Rivers said during the appearance on the Bill Simmons podcast on Thursday, adding that it was difficult to help Lillard keep his spirits up. Now, I'm going to stop there really quick. These guys are just like you and I. They have families, they have things that come up, they have problems, they have highs, they have lows. Just because you're making millions of dollars to play a game doesn't mean that life stops or life gets any easier. So keep that in mind. I think sometimes players make a little bit too much out of certain things because regardless of if you're playing in the NBA, which certainly your job requires a lot more travel than most, you're a public figure, which means what is off limits? What's off limits? Some people get on them for letting personal issues drag into the basketball, into the professional life. But when you hear this, to me, it screams excuse, excuse, excuse. And to me, again, it's over the line. I can't imagine Dame Lillard was particularly thrilled about what Doc went on to say. So let me continue here. So it was really hard, River said during the appearance on Thursday, adding, we already got that. This is a direct quote, I didn't even realize that Dame was traded 2 or 3 days before training camp. Quote, we were at dinner and he said, Coach, hold on, Coach, you were at dinner. So you were at dinner after you were the coach, or was he calling you coach before you were the coach? Anyways, we were at dinner and he said, Coach, I didn't work out all summer. So this is what apparently Lillard said to Doc. It's the first time in my life that I have not worked out. I was so scared of getting injured working out. He knew he was going to get traded. So, okay, I get that context of it, right? Wrap yourself in bubble wrap, maybe take a precaution here or there. Don't do as many open gyms, have more controlled scrimmages. But sometimes when you try not to get hurt, that is actually when you get hurt. So going back to what Doc said. So he said, I did some light running. Now, Doc is speaking of Lillard. I did some shooting with no one in the gym, but I didn't go at all. Go at all means didn't go strong. I'm out of shape, and he was honest about it. And that's one of the reasons you love him, because he is honest. He said, this is the worst shape I've ever been in. Again, why? What does this accomplish? I don't understand. Are you trying to make an excuse for Dame? Are you trying to make an excuse as to why you didn't get out of the first round of the playoffs? Lillard, 33, struggled on the offensive end this season with his efficiency from beyond the arc and scoring plummeting from the previous season marks. And this is where it gets even weirder. Rivers explained that Lillard never got in peak shape for the season. Quote, when you start camp that way, you don't even get in shape. You never catch up. And he felt that way, Rivers said. It's funny. I start calling him names, like joking with him, talking about his weight, and he's heavy. What? Lillard used that experience as motivation to get in shape for 24-25, and he's already working towards that. It goes to talk about how Dame is doing double days right now in the postseason and has been doing them pretty much for most of the postseason and still even into the NBA Finals. So if you wanted to get across the point that Lillard is training harder than he's ever trained to get ready for a season, you could have just done that. That's pretty simple. You could have made those statements and left it at that. But the fact that he's talking about they were joking about his weight, and guys, I'm sorry, gals and guys, Dame Lillard has never looked out of shape to me. Even in Dame Lillard's worst shape, this dude still looks like he is mostly chiseled out of stone. And if you've ever seen Dame in person, in real life, dude has got some broad shoulders. He is built well. So, again, I don't know why Doc made these comments. I didn't listen to the podcast. I don't know if Bill pressed him on this point. It seemed like it was more voluntary than reactionary from the way that I'm reading it. But what do all you think about this? If you're Dame Lillard, are you bent? I would be pissed if I was Dame. You're talking about my personal life. You're talking about all right. If we're gonna go political, y'all, this is going off. Are we really going political in the chat? So yes, you will get blocked too if we start doing this too much. Do not ruin it for everybody. This is a fun community. We are a quirky community. It's a community where everybody seems to get along. So if you're in here to raise a reaction, and I'm fine with you raising a reaction as long as it's within the context of sports. If it's not, get the hell out of here or I'll just block you. So I'm going to say that from here. I'm not going to go into the comments. Yes, no politics, please. None at all. This is a no politics zone. Please take it to another show. Did I talk politics? I was talking Dame Lillard and Doc Rivers. So, not going to block you yet. But if I see it still going on, you're getting blocked. Understood? All right. Very good. Thank you. Let's see. Let's get to some comments really quick that can go up. Let's see. Flores, if the Panthers win, will Bob, I'm just going to call him Bob, be a shoo-in for MVP? Has to be, in my opinion. I don't know who else you could think of at this point. Definitely, he has stopped some great shots. And I know Edmonton struggled with the power play, but it just feels there was a shot, a goalie is feeling themselves when they're getting out from beyond the goalie area. Like Bobrovsky was out of the goalie area last night defending the goal. There was a couple stops where he didn't even see the damn puck. You might as well blindfold the guy. And he would still do just fine. So yes, I do think that he is going to get the MVP. What's up, BJ? Welcome in on a Friday. Damn, you used to call Roman 95. Interesting. It's too bad that he was taken. Well, I shouldn't say he was taken off, but yes, he's no longer on the radio in Sacramento. You think it is, Jay? I guess that's a good argument. It depends on the fight, though, right, Jay? Because some of them are stinkers where like you only get a couple punches thrown in the first round or two. They're feeling each other out. But yeah, wouldn't it be, Jay, more of like a 5th round thing where somebody's got to get a knockout? And I know you try for the knockout in the 1st round too, but it's open for discussion and interpretation. It is open for it. Okay, now you're getting weird, bro. I had a dream about Ryan and I meeting Rome. Not a joke. Yeah, you've got a lot of explaining to do, dude. You have a lot of explaining. Donovan Mitchell will re-sign contract extension with the Cavs. Why not? With the Cars? Is he going to be part of the movie franchise? Donovan and Mater pick and roll? No? Just kidding. Cavs, damn, I was hoping he'd go to the Lakers. Why is that? Why do you want him to go to the Lakers? Seems like an obvious choice. No, not 5th round, because we know who is up on the scorecards. Good point. All right. So I've kind of stopped watching UFC because there's so many damn fights. I mean, you've got Fight Night, you've got the ESPN shows on ESPN Plus. It seems like there's a pay-per-view like every couple weeks for the UFC. You remember the UFC like really in its heyday when you had Couture, you had Iceman, Tito. Those used to be fun fights. I mean, really, really fun. We used to go to, I was down in San Diego for those. There'd be bars that would show the fights. That it was before the time that you had to pay a cover, but the bars would be packed. It was so difficult to be able to see the TVs and whatnot. But Adam hopping in. Adam, are you doing a wrestling update today? Holler at your boy. Used to listen to Rome and then the good old Don and Mike show back in the day. Don and Mike. I don't know that I'm familiar with that one. And I am a pretty big Radiohead. Loved Don. What was Don and Mike on? That feels like a 98 rock kind of thing. Could be wrong. What about Pat and Tom? Pat and Tom are pretty damn good. I like Pat and Tom a lot. Let's see. Yes, sir. I grew up in the golden age of boxing, 70s through 90s. Yeah. I was watching does anybody watch Vice TV? There's some really good content on Vice, but I was watching a show that had to do with boxing and really enjoyed that. The Tyson days, like Tyson just didn't say much. You didn't know what was going to happen. You just knew that he could knock somebody out on the drop of a dime. All really cool stuff. Let's see. I saw a parent story in here. I want to get that in. But let's see. Yeah, Caleb, thank you for stopping, Caleb, by the way. Zakara, there we go. I knew I saw one. My dad took me to my first Kings game when I was about 5 against the Rockets. Love it. Let's see. How old are you, by the way? Are you mid-20s? I'm interested about that. Because was that when our test was on the Kings and Scottie Pippen was on the Rockets? I was at that game. Kings won in overtime. Yeah, I remember that one clearly. Adam, he's got Dallas in 8. Okay, very good. Dallas in 8. All right. I like it. So get your comments in again. Open phones all day today if you want. Fair enough. You don't have to do that. Don, not Don. Fair enough. Oh, are you talking about Rob, anybody, and Don? Wait, I don't know. Anyways, yep, fair enough, my friend. Dallas couldn't win if it was a 20-game series. I don't necessarily agree. So check this out. I was looking at the odds last night. If I wanted to take Dallas to win the series, like, could I get like 12,000 to 1 odds or whatever? It's actually, or the line might have moved. It's only plus 2,000 for Dallas to win the series. And I get it's basically a 4-game parlay, but plus 2,000? I thought it would have been way more than that. Horse and I actually had this discussion in a different forum. If you wanted to bet Boston right now, if you wanted to bet Boston to win the series, it was either minus 7,000 or minus 8,000, which means you would have to bet $7,000 or $8,000 to get $100 back. That is crazy because it's pretty much guaranteed money. Do you think the series ends tonight? I know I asked that already once. I do think it ends tonight. Dallas is hanging by a thread. Grant got on Luka for criticizing the officials. I know Jason Kidd had a little something to say. Basically, you need to focus on the game and get back. But Luka is not going to change his spots. And the fact that he complained again, it would have been a surprise if Luka didn't complain to the officials after being thrown out of, or not thrown out, but fouled out of the last game, game 3. That's the big problem. Luka has been exposed. We've talked about that this week on the Kings Court. We talked about it just as recently as yesterday, that Luka was exposed defensively, and some people had that take. In fact, Jay, who's in here, he had the take. He said he's not going to be able to hide. The Celtics are going to have to make him defend, and they have done that. And credit to the Celtics. They've actually not lived off of the 3 ball, which I was afraid they were going to do. So, hey, if you want to call the show, you can. Again, you can I'll put it in the chat one more time. You can click that link, or you can call 916-399-3748. No call screener. So if you don't, or if I don't pick up, that means somebody else is on. We bring in Alex. Alex, how you doing today, bud?
Good. About yourselves?
Great. What's going on?
I didn't know about that interview you talked about. I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds, as you say, a little bit bizarre. I'm not sure why Doc would get into those things, but I definitely want to check it out because, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, it just dropped yesterday. It's just one of those things. Look, Golden State, I'll give you the exact polar opposite. Golden State has had to deal with Andrew Wiggins' situation, right? Yep. They've done a very good job, at least in this sense, of guarding it, not making it public what he's going through, even though he struggled mightily last season. So I don't know how you go from one extreme to this extreme. It's a problem with the NBA. Coaches getting too familiar.
Yeah, I think the only way I could kind of see if it's okay, for one, if Dame actually told him, oh, you can put it out there, or I guess 2, if they're actually close, not just from this team, but from years back. But even then, it seems like, why would you put your laundry out there, man? That's kind of crazy, especially somebody else. So I don't know. Maybe Dame let him, but something tells me that he didn't. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think. I mean, that's something, especially when you're doing your exit. And I didn't do the exit or interviews or listen to them with the media for the Bucks, but that's Dame's thing to talk about. And I'm not aware of Dame coming public with anything like that about not working out hard. You're basically redirecting the fan base's frustration right at Dame, right? When you're already frustrated, you see a different team without Drew Holiday.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, hats off to them, you've mentioned Holiday, to the Celtics, because that trade has really put them over the top. And I know Grant said, I'm not sure what day it was, but he said that it's been pretty competitive. And I would push back a little bit. Yes, the scores have been somewhat competitive at times, but I feel like the Celtics have been the only team that's felt dominant. They were up 30 and then up 20. Even that last game, they were up 21 or something, and then Dallas caught up. But I feel like they were the only team that's been dominant, even though the scores have been kind of close, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, during the regular season, in the 2 meetings that the Celtics and Mavs hooked up in, Celtics won by an average of 18.5 points. The playoffs, it's 10.7 for each game. But it's just, it's a tribute, or not a tribute, but it directly speaks to the style of the NBA, the 3 ball, and the fact that really no team is ever out of a game.
Very true. Very true. You also mentioned you're not into the UFC anymore. And you said because there's so many events, or is there other reasons besides that?
To be honest with you, no, it's not like lack of interest. It's just it feels like the fighters are always turning over. There's so many fighters to keep up with now, whereas like you kind of knew the light heavyweight division, you kind of knew like all these different names. Like, and I get you still have your Conor McGregors and some of the bigger names at the top of the sport, but yeah, I mean, like guys retiring, coming back in, it's just I don't know. Maybe I need to give it another shot. Sell me, Alex.
Well, I'll tell you, MMA is my first. Well, I wouldn't say my first. My first love was WWE, well, pro wrestling. But my top 3 tier system is the NFL, the NBA, and MMA. I watch pretty much every event. Every Saturday they have a fight night, and then every third week or first week they have a pay-per-view. And there's a lot of great fighters out there. It's evolved so much from, as you mentioned, the Chuck Liddell days where it was basically brawlers. It was guys that did bar fights pretty much. Now there's distinct divisions. Everybody's well-rounded. Everybody knows at least one of wrestling or jiu-jitsu and one of Muay Thai or boxing. You have to know both to be a top 10 guy, or standing up and grounding. Top dudes. One thing, McGregor isn't going to fight. He was going to fight in 2 weeks. Big thing. Now he's not going to fight. He's pulled out a couple of times already. But the guys replacing him, a different fight named Alex Pereira, to me, becoming a superstar. This guy's next level. He's only fought 9 MMA fights, but he's had over 100 kickboxing matches, and he's just taken the UFC by storm. He's became the middleweight champ. He's became the light heavyweight champ already. Awesome stuff going on right now. Sugar Sean O'Malley's another guy that, if you like WWE or pro wrestling, he's really into that space, into the comedic / entertainment factor. He dyes his hair pink, kind of like Tekashi 6ix9ine or whatever his name is. They have those characters in there now too. Because even, I don't know if you've seen, there's a couple of wrestlers they've done Undertaker entrances lately in UFC. They do WWE styled entrances because some of those guys grew up watching pro wrestling, and now they're integrating some of pro wrestling into it. Which the hardcore MMA fans don't like. They hate it. They hate anything pro wrestling involved. I love both, so I love that they're meshing both and they're doing entrances and doing all kinds of stuff. Maybe you might like it too. Who knows?
Well, WWE got bought by TKO, which is
which
owns the UFC. Yeah, so there has been a little bit more crossover. I'll give it a try again. I'm not against it. I mean, I'm never gonna pay $70 or $80 for UFC pay-per-view ever again. I used to, but probably not again. I don't know why. Just probably because there's so many fights now, Alex. Again, so many for free.
No, I understand that, and I think what they should do is do the tier system that WWE did, where they did the network or Peacock, or they did the network first and then it became Peacock, right? In the US. If they did something like that, I feel like they'd get all kinds of more buys because everybody streams nowadays. You know what I mean? Like the whole cable / PPV system doesn't necessarily work in today's day as much. The times have changed and everybody, streams pretty much. So hopefully with that. Also too, I wanted to bring up the cat thing. I'm a big cat guy, so
cat guy. All right.
Yeah. And I'm not against
the cat side.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm on the bad list now. But I will say I'm not against dogs per se. My girl had dogs. She still has dogs. But our agreement was, when we finally moved in, we don't bring any pets because I love my cat. She loves her dogs. They stayed with our parents. But we just agreed because, it wouldn't have been fair if she brought her dogs and I couldn't bring my cat and vice versa. So they stayed with our parents, and it still works out well. And I wouldn't say I'm not against dogs at all. I think they're great. They're smart, friendly, and all that. But the one thing I can't do is the barking. The barking drives me insane. It really does. I can't do it if I'm working from home, if I have guests over, if I'm asleep, any little thing that bark, it drives me crazy. Even the best dogs in the world, they still bark. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it drives me wild. And maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but that's the one thing why I can't do it.
Dude, over barking is right below shedding for me. The over barking just kills me. Our dog does it all the time, just as recently as this last Tuesday with Jerry Reynolds of all people. So yeah, you know what? I'm not. So my son, once our dog is no more, he wants cats, and
Oh, okay.
so I'm like, all right, I better start learning about them. What's good, what's not. I don't ever remember being around a cat that I really enjoyed being around. Like they would just jump out from random places. They would scratch you randomly. Like, I don't know. I don't like stuff with claws.
They're cool, man. I mean, and they're trainable too. So like, I'll even again, I have receipts for all this. My cat can high five and he can sit if I have him trained like that. So I'll say high five, sit, and he'll do it. They're pretty smart if you train them. Now, if you don't train them, they have a mind of their own. They will scratch stuff. They'll do whatever they want. They won't listen to you and all that. But again, I like that they don't bark. They're very chill for the most part, especially during college when I was very busy out and about. They can pretty much take care of themselves as long as you have like an auto feeder and auto litter box and all that. And like I said, they're pretty chill. They're nice. There's some dogs that even my girl's dog is one of them is real friendly, real nice, but he jumps on you a lot and he gets so excited. I understand that. I can't do it, man. I don't like it.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
We have a ton of people that come over and we have to put the dog on a different side of the house. He'll lick you to death, but he looks like and sounds like a mean dog. He's so big.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just won't stop yelping. I guess the thing with the cats, like you said, they'll take care of themselves.
Mhm.
But like almost everybody I know, I can tell they have a cat when I walk in their house from the smell. Like you can smell the
Oh,
litter
okay.
boxes. You can if I have a cat, I don't want to be able to smell it like that.
I hear you on that too. And I, for one, have also been able to tell that if they don't keep up with it. And I have a family member, won't say how related, we are, but I won't even say he or she, they aren't up with the litter box. They clean it maybe, I don't know, a handful of times a week when it needs to be twice a day. If you want a clean house, you got to clean it twice a day, morning and night. And again, I know I'm sounding like the cat advocate waving the flag, but there is rules to it. You don't want nobody wants to go to the smelly house or the piss smell of the house. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You make food and you have kids and you know what I mean? You don't want none of that stuff. So if you do have that, you have to keep up with it. Just like the dogs have a smell, you have to bathe them. If not, you have that wet dog smell all the time. You know what I mean? So
it goes
I
both
think with
ways.
anything you have to be cleanly. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be, no matter what animal you have, I have a cousin that has turtles and they have a smell too. You know what I mean? If you're not up with that stuff, anything's gonna smell. If you yourself, you rhino or mice, if I don't shower, we're going to smell. You know what I mean? So
True.
it's kind of that same thing. So again, not saying go get a cat today, but just reasonings why I do like them. And again, for the people that love the dogs, I know I'll probably get destroyed in comments. I'm not against them. I just don't like the barking. That's all.
I hear it's not like you have to be one team or the other. They're not
Yeah.
mutually exclusive. You can like both, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be forced to be team cat here in probably the next 5 years. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get ready for it. I'm like doing my research and all of you are kind of helping me out with this too. Like now I'm thinking I have to get 2. I can't get 1 because if there's 2, then, or they will kind of keep each other entertained if we're not around. If you have 1, then it's just going to cause problems around the house. Like, I don't know, man.
It just all depends, your personality, how you train them, if you train them. I mean, because I think I've even seen, any dog for the most part can be taught things if you teach them since they're little. Of course, there's some more purebred dogs that are just naturally smarter genetically, but pretty much any dog you could train if you put in enough time and effort. Same thing with cats too. If you really put in the time, there's some more stubborn ones than others, but you can train them as well. It just depends, like I said, your personality and how much time and effort you put in.
Okay, you bring up an excellent point. So our dog and his breed is known to be very intelligent and very stubborn.
Yeah.
And so he was very spoiled before, because he still lived with my brother-in-laws until we bought our home. because he
Okay.
needed a lot more space. But
Yeah.
once he got here, I started training his ass, sit, stay, like the food area. My biggest pet peeve, because he sheds so much, is hair in the kitchen. If I see hair in the stove, like the refrigerator, for instance, he's big enough where if my wife opens the fridge up and he puts his head right by her hip, his head is in the fridge, like straight up in the fridge. And so I've set all these ground rules. I trained him right, but I can't train my wife and my son. They go behind my back every time I'm not looking. Dogs all the way in the kitchen, dogs not being asked to sit, dog not being asked to stay. So I can train these cats, but what am I going to do, Alex? I can't train them to train. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Okay, well, you have a good point there because it's a family effort. If
It
they're
has to
just
be.
they're just like kids. If if you're a kid and you can get away with stuff with mom but not with dad, you'll do it. You know what I mean? They're the same. If you can somehow get them to be on board with you, then you can probably have a good system. But if not, I I hear you. That sounds difficult for sure.
Yeah. I guess I should work on helping and train them a little bit more first. But hey, brother, make it a great weekend. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, dude. Have a good one, man.
All right, be well. That is Alex checking in. Alex is always like doing some type of workout when he checks in, making us feel not as good about ourselves, not working out. Actually, I walked 3 miles today, so I feel very good about myself. You can call the show as well. In fact, we got our boy Jay calling in right now.
Going on, Rhino? How you doing today?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I had came on I think the 5 p.m. show yesterday, and I wanted to get your take on some stuff that I asked Grant.
Yeah, for sure.
Your Mountain Rushmore of NBA players all time.
Oh man. How long did you give Grant to answer?
We talked about it for probably about 10 minutes.
Mount Rushmore, it's Jordan, it's Kobe, it's LeBron. Gosh, the third spot's up for grabs for me. How about you? What's your 4?
That's funny. I don't think I answered that.
Give me your 4.
I hate saying Jordan. I'm Generation Z, believe it or not. So I'm pro modern day basketball era.
Okay.
I know it'd be crazy to leave out Jordan. I guess you do have to say Jordan because obviously the 6 rings, but the impact he had on the game.
Yep.
You know what he played in 90s, late 80s, right? When he was doing his thing and people are freaking dying over his shoes. So I guess the impact he's had. Yeah.
Dude.
So not in a good way, obviously, but obviously what he's done for the culture of basketball. So Jordan, LeBron. I'm definitely gonna say LeBron. It's funny. I was actually watching 2017-2016 finals recap.
Oh, nice.
And it's very evident that LeBron is astronomically above his peers on that dang team, besides Kyrie Irving. But everybody else just looks like a bunch of YMCA pickup players. So LeBron, Jordan,
it's so hard, right?
For me, I'm going to put Stephen Curry.
I thought about him because he changed the point guard and the center position, in my opinion.
I think he's had, once again, just like Jordan.
Yeah.
He's had an impact on basketball culture. Okay. Everybody, all the kids want to Curry shoot from the volleyball line and the half court line. And he's actually changed the game. Really, if you think about it, 3-point shooting has never been as valuable as it was until after the Warriors era, really.
100%. 100%. And he's a smaller 2-guard too. Think about like the Jordan, Kobe eras that we're talking about. You had like your 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" 2 guards. Steph's smaller dude. He opened the door for a lot of other guys his size as well.
He says a couple people, MJ, Kobe, James, and Shaq. Okay.
But the problem is we're ignoring like 75 years of basketball.
Yeah, you like, for example, you just skipped over Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yeah, Wilt.
Wilt Chamberlain.
That's what makes it so difficult.
Okay, 4 player, like the face of the NBA, like the NBA is gonna put up a freaking literal Mount Rushmore at the head office in New York or wherever it is, and they're picking 4 players. Who are you picking? That's where it gets hard. Like,
Yeah,
you have to put LeBron's face on it and Michael
you
Jordan.
have to. Yeah. I don't think you can leave Kobe off of there, can you?
I respect Kobe as a human being and his mentality and what he's done, but I didn't like his game. I'm not a fan of his game. I know there's a lot of people that love Kobe. Kobe's also one of those guys that is just like Curry when it comes to changing the game. You hear kids all the time saying Kobe shooting
Yeah.
it, and that was a thing. I wouldn't put Kobe on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean 3, 4 that's really, really tough. Because like you said, there's Wilt Chamberlain, and then there's that reminds me, I wanted to ask you too. Did his 100-point game really happen? Because there's no footage of it.
If the NBA recognizes it, how can we say it didn't happen? You know? You think it didn't happen?
There's a conspiracy that it didn't, because there was cameras back then and they were filming games, but that's not on camera.
I don't think it's that far-fetched, though. Back in the day, the way that they played, the 3-point line wasn't around, I don't believe, right? No. So
I would love to ask Grant that, because I know he was going on a tangent.
Come on tonight.
He was
Come
going
on
on a
tonight.
tangent. I got to gather
for
some
sure.
evidence, though. I got to come with some good
right.
pointers before
That'd
I
be a
ask
good
him, 'cause
one.
I know how he is. He'll be,
I like
are you
that.
kidding me?
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I can't figure out that 4th spot. He says, some guy says Curry's not on there. I mean, I could see why you wouldn't put Stephen Curry on there, but at the same time, I would. I also asked Grant, would Kevin Durant make your top 10 of all time?
No, not for me. Probably 15.
That's exactly what he
In
said.
my top 15.
He said top 15. Okay, and then do you put Stephen Curry ahead of Durant? Obviously, I would.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, let me shoot this to you really quick. If we're going to do Rushmores, Mount Rushmore of Sacramento Kings. And you guys can do that in the chat too. So you're going to go Sabonis already, okay?
Sabonis, let me tell you, if you're getting a retired jersey, you get the blessing to play with that. Because what's going to happen when Sabonis's jersey is retired? Is it going to be number 10 or will it be 11?
It'd be 10. They wouldn't re-retire it as Sabonis. He'd go back.
I figured it should be 10, so that way they can keep Davies 11. So I'll put Sabonis.
Sabonis, all right.
Yeah, Chris Webber's on there.
Okay.
Rajon Rondo. No, I'm just playing. That's tough. I mean, we haven't really had any. I think Chris Webber and then probably Sabonis are the 2 best. I mean, didn't Isaiah Thomas play for a little bit for the Kings?
RIT drafted in the 2nd round, or
not the short one, the old Isaiah Thomas.
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. If so, it's news.
Oscar Robertson, right? That's
yes.
That's
Oscar
the guy I was
Robertson.
thinking. And him. And then, what about your Mount Rushmore?
I've got Richmond. I have Vlade. Bibby. And probably Sabonis.
Yeah, Sabonis. It's only right. He's going to be that guy for the next couple years in Sacramento. Yep. I believe that for sure.
I gotta give Vlade the nod over C Webb, and here's why. C Webb's game isn't C Webb's game without what Vlade did. You don't have that 2002 team without what Vlade brought to it. He was a big.
I mean, that's when they got rigged, right? Those Western Conference Finals, was that 01 or 02?
01, 02, yeah.
I don't like talking about that. That's
We
no
got to
bueno.
talk about it, dude. Sacramento's still in game until we're in game 8 syndrome, which means we haven't gotten that big win in a playoff series yet. And until
Yeah,
we do,
we got to do something about that.
Yeah.
I asked Grant this too, since we were comparing older era, modern era, Luka Doncic or Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
That's
All
what he
day.
said too. He did say that.
Because Larry, now Larry wasn't as flashy with the ball. He wasn't as ball dominant at times, but I don't know, man. Larry's mid range, that guy could do it all, and he could guard too. He was a dog.
I mean, so can Luka. Well, not the guard part. I like how you pointed that out. I told you they're gonna have to make him play defense, and if
Yeah,
he,
I gave you a shout out.
yeah, if he tries not to, all you do is when whoever's dribbling the ball, look for Luka and then run at him. Force the defense to force something to happen where he's going to have to be involved on the defensive end. That's my game plan.
Yep.
But Grant said maybe in 10 years that might change, the Luka and Larry, depending on what Luka does in the next 5-10 years.
It could. And by the way, for all of you saying that, I'm not trying to defend our picks of Sabonis. I see some people agreeing, some people saying the other way. Jerry Reynolds is already on record saying he is the best center in Sacramento Kings history.
I would agree.
So if you want to say 2.4 years, look at what he did. This season was freaking historic by Domas.
And honestly, for that fourth spot, I could probably add in De'Aaron Fox because I think I only named 3. But the reason I would put Fox,
I couldn't put Fox in there.
I know it's tough, but if you think about it, this squad with Sabonis and Fox did break that drought, that playoff drought. That's where I'm coming from.
Fair. You know what's funny? I was looking at this the other day. The year Walton's last year as coach. Let me pull this up really quick because I want to be accurate with it. Everybody talked about the Kings' pace. The year they broke the playoff drought. Their pace was that year at 100.3. 100.3, right?
Okay.
Walton's, his team's pace, check this out, was at 100.0. That's pretty damn good. Like, that means like the pace kind of carried over. That wasn't necessarily a Mike Brown thing. Some of these players were in place, and I know we've had turnover. Maybe that is speaking directly to De'Aaron Fox. But I found that surprising. Also, offensive rating during that time was surprising too. That Kings team, their offense rating was not bad. It was 113.6. Offensive rating the year the Kings broke the drought, 119.4.
I think if we take those two Kings teams, I think the modern one.
100%. Yeah.
Sure.
I think that team beats them for sure.
Okay. If you had your all-time team of post or pre-2000 era, or would you consider that one of the greatest eras?
What do you mean, King?
Oh, just in basketball history, like more legends that were playing at that time. Would you consider like?
Yes,
okay,
totally.
So if you had to pick 5 players to build your dream team against my dream team will be modern era players who are playing now, and we'll match them up.
Oh man, you are putting me on the damn spot. Okay, I've got Stockton running the point. I've got Jordan at 2. I've got Malone at 4. Hakeem at 5.
You can have Kobe if you want.
Well, I'm going pre-2000. I'm going earlier, like 80s, 90s. I'm gonna, because Kobe wasn't exact. Well, Kobe was starting to be Kobe then. Who would be my 3? Give me
Bird, Magic, Kareem. You got some players that you left out.
I know. Give me Bird. I would go Bird.
Okay, I'll pick players that are playing now, but my caveat is, since you're assuming that your players are in their prime, we'll assume that these players were in their prime.
Fair.
So like LeBron, like maybe like 2012, 2013 LeBron.
Okay.
Stephen Curry,
Okay.
Kevin Durant. I'll put KD at the 3, LeBron at the 4, Curry at the 1, prime Klay Thompson at the 2. I'll go Joel Embiid.
Okay, so here's okay, fair enough. Which team imposes their will? Two totally separate styles of basketball.
Let's not forget LeBron is a bully, and so is Joel Embiid. I mean, the pre-era, they were some bullies too. They was much more physical,
Mm-hmm.
but all it takes is a couple dunks from Bron on a fast break, and we'll see who's really about that life on the court. Let's see who really wants to step up in front of LeBron.
Yeah, but LeBron would be, well, yeah.
I mean, Larry Bird isn't going to be able to lock up Bron or KD. Jordan's going to have to pick up probably Kevin Durant.
But what about the ISO though on the other end of the court? You've got some matchup problems,
about
dude.
Embiid twisting his ankle, and that was my concern when I was going to pick him.
Yeah, see, I and Shaq is a good point. I picked Hakeem. I didn't pick Shaq.
Shaq would have been a good. I mean, you can't go wrong with either or. It's your preference.
It's fun. It's fun conversation for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think the underdog here is definitely prime Klay Thompson. I think that guy's in his prime. Two-way player. He's going to give you 100% on defense.
Prime Klay. How long did Klay's prime really last? Like 3 seasons?
Like doesn't matter. I'll get the
you get the best of the best.
Yeah.
You get the game he scored 37.
So pretty much I'll get
quarter.
The 2017 Warriors, and then you just give me Embiid and LeBron, and we'll figure the rest.
Yeah. Dude, that would be interesting. I wish there was like a program. There's got to be
2K.
analytics.
I do it on 2K.
Do you do it on 2K?
Yeah.
How does it measure out?
Well, I put it on rookie, so that way I can win all the time with the modern. But if I put it on the higher difficulties, the higher mode, it's the old. You have Michael Jordan at like rated 100 on there. So
yeah. Okay, BJ wants to know if you've ever seen Larry Bird play.
No, Grant asked me the same thing. He asked me the same thing yesterday. He's like,
you go watch Larry. Dude, Larry made Magic his BI in one of those NBA finals.
I heard, yeah, Grant was saying, okay, we were talking about that too.
I mean, like really like sat his ass down.
I'll watch it. And you know what I need to watch too is the Dream Team documentary.
Yes, that's a good one.
The practice.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I need to watch that though.
The only other Olympic thing that I've seen better is just the short clip. I think it's like an 8-minute story on Kobe running through. I forget who it was. It was one of his teammates at the time that he was playing against. He just ran through a screen the first game, and it set the tone for the rest of the Olympics.
Team USA versus Spain, I believe in 2008 again.
And he ran through Gasol. Yes.
Gasol, either 2008 or 2012. I don't remember which one.
Yes.
I think it might have been 2012 now that I think about it. Yeah, dude, first play.
You got me thinking now about like the style clashes and how that would shake out.
That's even a better question now. This USA team, the Redeem, I don't know what they're going to call it, but it's the first time that Stephen Curry and LeBron are going to play together, which is going to be phenomenal basketball, in my opinion. Versus the original Dream Team with Magic, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan,
Bird, Barkley,
Malone was on there. There was
Malone.
Yeah. Okay. So you take that and you put it against today's team, USA in 2024. Who you got?
I'm taking 92 team, dude.
Okay. If we fast forward, it's like we have to fast forward Anthony Edwards 3 years and then rewind LeBron like 10 years in a row.
I got you. Yeah, it's a lot of. So this was the Dream Team. Let's name them off really quick so everybody knows. It was Jordan, Pippen, Stockton,
Pippen,
Malone, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing. See, we've left Ewing out. let's see. Magic, Ewing, Bird. Did we get Bird yet? Yeah, Chris Mullins. So, oh, dude, I've got a great Chris Mullins story. Tell that in a second. David Robinson, Barkley, and yes, that was, and then Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was on.
I
the
thought
dream
he got
team.
left out
No, it said that as let's see,
because the Michael Jordan and him.
oh, Clyde Drexler of the Portland Trail Blazers was chosen over IT. Excuse me. Yes,
He was supposed to, and Jordan was like,
Drexler.
no.
See, there's all these great players that you just forget about.
I
dude.
know. What was his name? You just said it, David Robinson. He was.
The Admiral. You're in Tim Duncan. You know,
Duncan,
jeez, there's some dogs out there. Still,
You know what? Give me Wembanyama, but fast forward him 5 years. I'll put him on that.
yeah,
all-time.
but you can't do that. Like, you can't you can rewind a player.
Okay,
You
well,
can't fast
then I'll
forward
just
a
take
player.
I'll
Because
stick with
then
my
you're
pick.
basically saying the best they could ever be. Like, they're total ceiling. No, you got to go to the best they've been right now.
Yeah.
That's funny, though. Dude, I should have you on the podcast and do one of these where we just go back and forth on a couple of different scenarios. I like it a lot.
I would love that. Yeah. That I didn't when you started reading that roster though, the dream team, that's pretty stacked.
Yes, I'm taking that team.
I'm trying to see if I can like read off this year's roster, and it's like we have so much younger talent. And it's going to be like 20 years from now, you're going to read this roster from 2024 and you're going to be like, wow, they were stacked.
Oh,
But
yeah.
You have Edwards that's young. Booker's still kind of young. Tatum is like still young compared to the newer age of retirement. Tyrese Halliburton's young. Like all these guys are young. Most of them, besides, the guys that are on their way out. So it's kind of like, how stacked are we really when we compare it to something like the Dream Team?
Well, in most of those guys, Christian Laettner, he was the young one on that team. He was the guy out of college because most of the Olympic teams will have a college pick.
That's right. That's
You know, these guys were like dogs, dude. Like
I believe it.
They were like in their prime, or just at the tail end of their prime at this 92 team. Think about Jordan, man.
Like same thing I think with the 2000 Team USA. There was one where LeBron and Michael Jordan, I believe, were on the same squad, but LeBron was a baby. And it's funny to say he was a baby because I was born in 2000. He was a baby though, you know. So it's kind of like, that on paper it sounds like the greatest team of all time.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I was trying to get at with the 2024. You got Edwards and Halliburton and these young guys.
Yep, I got you.
These guys are babies.
I just don't know that. Maybe they would run circles around Stockton and guys like that, but
that's true too.
Like, I just don't see them getting I just see Stockton and these guys. Like every name on this list played defense and offense and played physical for the most part. That's what's crazy.
That's tough. But now that you say defense and offense, and then I'm like, well, we have Kawhi Leonard on the bench. Yeah, he's old. He gets injured, but if we can reverse him back to 2020,
you can reverse. Hey, you can reverse all you want. You just can't.
I'll take 2019 Kawhi Leonard.
2019 Leonard's a good Leonard, dude. Kawhi, have you seen how big dude's hands are?
Yeah.
Crap. I remember when they were recruiting him down at SDSU.
That's where he played, right?
Yep. Because he was from Riverside, so a lot of times some of the recruits would come up during the summer, run open gym and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I was down there for a week or two.
I have to watch some of his college highlights.
His shot is flat as hell, dude. It still is flat, but yeah, his shot was just it was a laser beam to the hoop in college. But he got it done. Yeah, for sure.
I'm hoping tonight. I know it sounds weird, but I just hope the Celtics get it over with. I'm ready to move on to the next part of the season. And I do think Jaylen Brown deserves Finals MVP if it happens.
I don't disagree with you, Jay. I hope I hope we get your wish, because just another game of this series is not appealing.
It's just dragging it along.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
Did
dude. Oh, go ahead.
No. Oh, yeah. It popped up on TV. I totally wanted to ask you. Did you see the Trevor Lawrence contract?
Yeah, 275 mil.
I mean, good for him. I wouldn't want to play in Jacksonville, but I understand they're going to offer him a lot of money. So, I mean, I guess maybe for that much, I would stay. But
Yeah, that ownership, their top priority this last draft was forwarding a wrestling storyline. So
yeah.
if you can put up with that madness, then fair enough. But again, you pay a quarterback that much, and I know you got to do it in some cases. You're going to be giving stuff up on the other side of the ball
Yeah.
or in front of the quarterback, but we'll see. Jay, dude, have a great
All
weekend.
right.
Call later tonight on the postgame show.
Yeah, I gotta debunk the myth of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes. Bring your evidence, dude. I love
All right.
conversations like that. All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, brother. That is Jay. Jay gets a lot of love for his Kings background. I absolutely love it. We got a couple people in the waiting room. So hey, Horse, you're going to wait for a second, okay? We're going to have Condog first. We're going to end the show with Horse. But first, if you have not done so already, make sure that you get over to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Yes, that is Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland, located in the Blue Oaks Town Center. That's their third location. If you get on Bennett'sRestaurants.com, you can check out everything about all three locations. You can look at the menus, the specials. I know that usually Father's Day, a little bit more of a grilling holiday, right? Little more on the grill. Well, no. How about you go to brunch and then let dad grill? You can get 2 entrees, bottle of a champagne for $44. That's right. And then also, you can make reservations. They've got a great private dining room at all the different locations. And it's just a great, fun place to go. And bring your appetite, by the way, because the portions are incredible. Again, go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. If you need any help on what to order, Grant and I have just about had it all there. Make sure you let them know that you heard about them here on the King's Court. And if you don't like that, huge thanks to Brian Bennett and the team at Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland. All right, we are rocking and rolling. We've got 3 calls lined up. Horace, I'm going to come to you in a little bit because I can do you and Adam at the same time. You guys mesh well. First, we bring on Corn Dog. What up, Corn?
I'm wearing the organ for Haunted Horse.
Love it.
Gotta rep the organ. Yep,
Oh,
there
what
you
the
go.
hell?
Go Ducks.
What
There
the
he is.
hell? Here we go. Look, this guy doesn't even know he's on the air. Look at him. Look, he has no idea he's on the air. Look.
Because I'm watching on the freaking
Look,
YouTube feed.
Look at this
He's trying to
professional.
just comment all day.
It's easier to chat on the YouTube feed. Now I see what is up.
What's
You
up,
said you're gonna
gentlemen?
come to me like with Adam, so I'm like,
I know.
Right.
Corn
I'm
Dog's
wearing,
wearing.
you're repping the Ducks. I'm repping the Cats.
You are not wearing a cat shirt, dude.
I am wearing a cat shirt.
Come on.
By the way,
I'm sorry, Bruce.
By the way, you can buy these at HollywoodRejects.com. I make these, so there you go. Don't hiss me off.
Don't hiss me off. If you want a cat shirt, if you are part of Team Cat, go to HollywoodRejects.com. Get yourself a Don't Hiss Me Off shirt.
Yes,
Love.
yes. You know your son wants one.
He's probably gonna get one.
He's
Yes.
gonna get one.
will.
Absolutely, makes a good Father's Day gift.
Dude, last year what did they get me last year? It was a trip to Hell's Kitchen, which still has not happened. And then they were gonna take me to see a movie. I think it was the Spider-Man comic book movie. I don't even
Spider-Man.
like Spider-Man.
I love when kids give their parents things that the kids
They
want.
want. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes, I'm surprised he's not going to take you. Dad, we're going to take you to Dave and Buster's for Father's Day so I
Exactly.
can play Plinko.
Exactly. If you want to find me and you want to come hang out with me, just go to Dave and Buster's every weekend.
Right.
You'll probably see me there in Folsom.
Oh, well, you know what? I guess I'm going to mark that on my Dave and Buster's trips.
Yeah,
Corn
we're
dog,
out
you gotta
there
play
decent
Plinko.
amount.
Yeah,
Plinko.
apparently.
My son hits the jackpot almost every time. Almost
Oh.
every time. So good
All
stuff.
right.
You know what? Hold
If I ever
on.
bring a date out there, I'll make sure to run in the Rhino.
Yes, if you bring a date out there, you definitely will. Let's take this down and let's try this.
Oh,
I knew it. I was hoping for it. I was
Yeah.
waiting for it. Here we
There it
go.
is.
the quad. The
Gentlemen, we have one haunted horse. We've got a dog in the chat, or we've got a dog on screen.
dog.
We've got a horse. And what up, Adam? How you doing today?
What's
buddy?
up? I'm good, man. How are you guys?
We
Hey,
are.
look, we made
great.
the Mount Rushmore of the King's Court.
Hey,
Hey, hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is the Mount Rushmore of the King's Court,
Yes.
according to Corn Dog.
Yep. This is the selection.
So what's up, gentlemen? What can I do for you? All of you do a little bit something different. We got this guy in a cat shirt, Adam, my WWE guy, Corn Dog, my Costco and Oregon guy. What are we talking about today? I know one thing we're going to talk about. Horse is very proud of himself, but I'll let you guys go first.
You know what? What's everyone's here favorite college football team?
Ducks.
Yeah, Ducks. Ryan?
Ooh, Notre Dame, easily. I don't know why I had to think about that.
All right, Adam?
Forkum Devils.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Rhino.
Forks up.
I got a
Yeah.
question, though. Football team, but Ryan, what's your favorite college? It's your I
Yeah,
can't even
of
say
course. San
Yeah.
Diego State.
it. So if it
Of
was
course.
basketball or anything else, but they don't have a football program there?
No, they do.
Nothing? Oh, do
They
they?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not worth being a fan of.
Yeah, right.
No, it's not. They don't play. They're Mountain West. They don't play. Their biggest rival is usually Boise State.
So if Boise State's their biggest rival, why were you wearing a Boise State shirt 2 days ago?
Because my brother is a graduate of
Okay,
Boise
fair enough.
State. I love Boise too. I got love for both
Smurf turf.
schools. Yeah,
The Smurf turf.
Smurf turf. That's right.
Yeah,
Been on
right.
it. I've T-bowed on that turf.
Nice. All right.
Just beast up left ASU for Oregon State. Okay. Well, you probably didn't have as much fun at Oregon State. I'm just saying. Tempe's a fun town. No,
Yeah,
just
beast up's
beast
in
up
school.
in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. I
he's
like
in
the
school.
Oregon. Just everyone gives me shit. I like the Oregon Ducks, but I never went to Oregon.
Oh, my brother does, or he did go.
Yeah,
so.
My family went to all the Oregon State, and I went military, so I hated school. So 4 more years was-
Kuzma to the Kings. I think it's a great move if they can get it done without Trey Lyles. All right. So,
Yeah.
Horse, I'm going to let you reset what you think you have now done on a national basis to I'm going to let you because
I'm not following where we're going.
something. Oh my gosh. What is the only thing that you think you brought to people's attention, which then went on the Jim Rome show like 2 weeks
I
later?
did not claim what you're claiming.
And
I just
okay,
said I was on top of it 2 weeks before the Jim Rome show was.
okay.
The
Why
Rap
don't you lay it
family.
out?
Yeah, the Rap family's back. Real quick, before we talk about Rap family, I want to piggyback off your last conversation with Moss. Moss, right? Correct?
Jay.
No,
Jay.
sorry. I'm trying to pick up the guys. All right. If we're talking prime, Arvydas Sabonis was never in his prime in the NBA. He played for
No, he
Portland
wasn't.
when he was on, and when he was playing for Portland, he was still amazing. Those soft hands for that big guy. Come on, Haunted Horse. Those soft hands. That guy was amazing, and of course, his best years were played in another country. So Arvydas Sabonis, I think in the NBA would have been top 10 easy. He's just amazing guy. Anyway, I got to see that guy play for Portland.
Portland would have been amazing in the for those late 80s, if he was on those teams. Yeah,
absolutely.
It would have been right there with the Lakers.
So when I see you guys talking about, the kid playing for you guys, it's like, man, the kid's good, but his dad was amazing.
Yeah, no, his dad, he just never got to the NBA before that. It was a different time for the Europeans trying to come over. Yep.
His dad beat up David Robinson in the Olympics. I mean, it was a baby David Robinson, but that's still, David Robinson.
Yes.
Well, Sabonis was the first one to play that Vlade Divac style of basketball from that position. A guy that could pass, a guy that had soft hands, a guy that saw the floor so well. And I mean, really, he's the pioneer of like the Jokic kind of style of player that you kind of model after. Ed, really quick about Costco. Corn Dog, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but no, just go in the return door. Don't even go through the door that asks for your card. Go straight to the food court. And if Corn Dog, hold on, if they ask you for a return, just have a plastic bag with nothing in it because they're not going to check and see what's in there. Straight to the food court. You can get your dog and your soda for $1.50 without a membership.
So it depends on the store currently, I believe right now. And then Stockton's is outside of the building, but Stockton's now has a new policy. I don't know if the other Costco's have implemented this where you have to have a membership to order, even though the food court's outside.
Interesting.
So again, I'm pretty sure
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Again, a lot of things are at the discretion. The GMs have a lot of power at each Costco. The general managers, they they're in the handbook. There's some things you might be able to get away with under one GM that you wouldn't be able to get with under another. Yeah, because there's just a lot of things in there. Yeah, Costco.
So basically, from Costco to Costco, I could walk up and be like, "Hey, can I please get a dog and a soda for like $50 or for $1.50? I don't have a membership," and they're just gonna be like, "How about no?"
Yeah.
I'll tell you what doesn't require a membership: Gym Boys. Gym Boys Tacos.
That's right. Yes. Speaking of Costco, by the way, not kidding. The wife, I have a witness. After your show yesterday, and I've got some family members that have said they're going on the next cruise with us, and I remembered that you get a discount with the cruise on Costco. Wife and I are signing up for Costco this weekend. I haven't had a Costco card in 25 years. We're getting Costco card this weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drop this. Maybe Corn Dog can help me out here. Actually, you know what? We have more breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
If you have a Costco card and you're making a big purchase, even if it's someplace super random, unless it's another retailer like Best Buy or Sam's Club, ask them if they do a Costco discount. I had to get a car repair, and they partnered with the maker of my vehicle to give me 10% off of anything up to $1,500, which is a big deal. I drive an Audi. Those are not I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a douche and drop what I drive, but those are expensive cars to maintain. So I was shocked that I got that much money off. So Horse pays for your membership right there.
That's what I figured. Yeah. So we're doing it this weekend. Apparently veterans they don't have a veteran discount, but when you sign up for your first time, they give you a $30 Costco gift card. So I've already.
What's that? Half an item at Costco?
I don't know. And the reason we've always hesitated, it's just my wife.
That's 15 hot dogs.
Yeah. 15 dogs. Corn Dog. The reason I hesitated is I've always got the image of Costco with the 10 gallons of mayonnaise, and it's like it's just my wife and I. But once I started like listening and looking around, and they selling TVs, and he was talking about the return policy, and then travel discounts. I'm like, freaking for $120 because we're gonna get the executive gold or whatever.
Yeah,
not
the one with the cashback. Yeah.
Yeah, the cashback one. So for $120, I said we'll easily save $120. So that's yep. Definitely married the cat loving thing happened. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, there you go. You should get Corn Dog should get like a commission.
Man, I'm just selling Costco.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. Gym boys. Well, they do take care of me. But
You know what? Mark, you brought something else up. Hold up. Corn Dog. Costco's not going to be happy about this one, but I have more breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Oh.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
For Costco.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
If you want to weigh around the Costco membership, check this out. If somebody gives you a Costco gift card, you can shop at Costco with that gift card without being a member.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a law or they just allow it that way?
That's how it's set up. So
Sure.
like the big thing about people sending their kids to college. So I had to piggyback off Mark. Mark, good job by putting that up because you can do that with alcohol and prescriptions. But yes, they would just buy their kids the gift cards instead of adding them to the membership.
Cool. Interesting.
But for you, Horse, it doesn't work. So then you wouldn't get the discount on the cruise, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we already booked that, but airfare and whatever. So yeah, my entire family has Costco cards, so I'm joining the club.
Good for you.
There you go.
Adam, what's up in Dallas, my man? Weather.
What's going on? Yeah, we're 90s, feels like 100 something.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 degree
Welcome to
humidity,
New York.
all that good stuff.
Dial
Yeah,
me
hey.
in. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, dial me into the tone of the city right now with Dallas being down 0-3.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bummer. Obviously, with the Stars getting knocked out last week or whatever, but yeah, none of the Mavs fans are super stoked right now, and I don't think we have too much to look forward to going into football season with the Cowboys. They'll put up 12 wins, but
Yeah.
that's about it. But I think everyone here probably thinks that it's over as well. But I would not be able to show my face around town if I don't say Mavs in 7.
There you go.
There you go.
Cowboys
Nice.
Niners, I
Hey.
think, is Monday Night Football, September 9th.
Is that the first game of the season, or
First Monday
Second?
night game of the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
Cool.
speaking of football, for everybody that is new to the King's Court, or if you are new to If You Don't Like That, we will be doing our annual Pick'em League for the NFL again this year. I off the top of my head, Peter, you won, right? I think it was Peter that won. Somebody won, obviously, but the winner usually gets a gift card. Jay Griffiths and Kathy, they donated the gift card this last year. But yeah, it's a pick 'em. You pick every game through Yahoo, and we track the standings. We update them on the shows. So keep an eye out for that. That will be happening around football time as well.
I threw this out in the chat over the last week or so, but piggybacking off of Pick'em League, I think we should get a fantasy league going.
That's what I like.
Well, you
Ooh,
guys
awesome.
do that in the chat. You'll never get Grant to do that. Grant is not.
No,
a
I'm
fantasy
talking about
guy.
this will be a King's Court fantasy league.
We could talk about that off air. We'll see.
Yeah, we still got time.
We got time.
Yeah, we'll think
about
it's
it.
way too early, but that's okay.
Actually, it's not really. I mean, we start drafting like around the second preseason game in most of my leagues,
Oh,
And that's coming up
that's
in-
early,
Oh, that's
man.
too early. Too early.
That's early.
No.
Yeah, people get hurt. I
It's
agree.
really not.
We used to do it on the first Thursday game. We did it. It was an all day thing for us. We would start in the morning, and then you watch the game after.
Yeah,
the draft.
I'm at least the night before, or that before the Thursday game. Yeah.
And to point out, Sea Dog is a former champion. He won the first time, dude. So last year,
Cat talk
Cat
fest.
Yeah.
okay. So the first year we did this, I kept the records by hand of the
Oh,
Pick'em League. And it was on Listen App. So everybody would call into Grant. They'd pick 4 games. And my understanding was, oh, there's Cat.
Those are my cats.
No, there's the cats. There you go.
That's my first cat.
There you go.
There you go.
My understanding was that everybody was going to be picking the same 4 games, but no, you got to pick which 4 games. What's that? Football champ? Oh, you're a champion.
Wow, nice.
All right, nice. Showing off our belts. All right. But yeah, keeping that those days, yeah. That was hard, dude. Keeping all those records. Oh, goodness. Anyways. All right. I'm going to go around the circle. Con Dog. Anything you want to talk about, bring up. Or Corn Dog, excuse me.
You know what? I'm just, on the college football hype train about now, the new games coming out the next month, man. The first NCAA game we've had since NCAA 14. It's been over 10 years, man. We got conference realignment. I can't wait to see these new conferences, new rivalries, man. I am new playoff too. Like, there's so much new going on. I am psyched.
Love it. There's so to clear this up, and Patrick, by the way, I put your comment up. Happy weekend, dude. Happy early Father's Day. Glad you're off the clock. But Patrick or somebody asked on one of Grant's open forum shows about the 1982 NC Wolfpack team getting paid. There were 3 okay, here comes the court part of the King's Court. There were 3 antitrust lawsuits filed against the NCAA. They settled all 3 of them, and as part of that settlement, there is a ton of money that is going to be going back to the universities and or players of old teams, because the lawsuit basically I'm not going to get into the legalities of it, but basically it's to make up for any type of lost compensation for not having NIL or additional compensation that programs made off of the players. So that is part of the reason that 82 team is getting paid. Another part of the reason, obviously, the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit kicked this whole thing off, which stalled the college football game that Sea Dogs or Corn Dog, we have 6 dogs in the King's Court, is talking about. So it doesn't set up like a really weird precedent, but that's why you're going to start hearing about old teams, old players that are going to start getting some money. So just wanted to throw that out there.
What about SMU?
Oh, that's another one. Eric Dickerson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
They might get
That's a
money.
famous team right there. I love that 30 for 30.
Yep. They might. They got the death penalty, right? No, they didn't get
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
They did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Skip Bayless was covering that team before he became a personality.
I wish he would have just stayed there and
Yeah, no, that back when
covered the lacrosse team.
Back when he was actually being a real reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those SMU uniforms are clean.
Yes.
Beast.
Oh man, I cannot wait. That now that they have the ultimate team stuff, dude, I'm gonna start running some crazy teams, man. I'm gonna start running some, options with Tim Tebow and Reggie Bush. Maybe some options with Christian Harden on the edge. Like, it's gonna be fucking fun. Oops.
Bring back the Wildcat.
Who's the better quarterback, Reggie Bush or Tim Tebow? I'd say Bush.
Hey man,
Tebow's not a quarterback. He's horrible.
dude.
That's-
College
that's
Tebow's
the
one of-
joke.
College
That's the
Tebow's
joke,
one of
Ryan.
the best QBs in NCAA.
Hey.
Tim Tebow is a horrible quarterback. He's a running back.
You know what?
Did he get the
No,
Steelers
he's
or
well,
the
yeah.
Patriots
You know
or
what?
something that year?
You know what? No,
Dude,
Haunted Horse. Name me a better quarterback the Denver Broncos have drafted than Tim Tebow.
I I've heard this
John
one
Elway?
before.
Nope.
No,
traded.
He got traded. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe a
Uh,
better quarterback the Broncos have drafted than Tebow.
Was
Jake Plummer.
that's what I was
Tebow-
gonna say. Plummer.
What's up, baby? Jake
Hold
Plummer.
on,
Jake
hold
the
on.
Snake.
Tebow won a playoff game for them. Did Plummer win a playoff
Did he really?
game?
Did he win
Yes,
a playoff
yes.
game, or did his team around him win the game?
He threw the winning
What's-
pass to Demarius Thomas.
His
It was
throws were like lobs over. Oh god.
okay,
he's
why
horrible.
are we piling on to Tim
That-
Tebow?
That team.
He's
team was 1 and
horrible.
4. That team was
He's
1
not
and
even a
4.
football
I
player
liked it.
anymore.
That
Yeah,
team was
well,
1 and
I liked
4
it.
before Tebow joined.
He's a good
They went
guy.
on a run. They went on a great run once when he took the starting job.
He's
man.
a good guy. What set me off with Tebow is the fandom saying he just needs a chance. He's gonna be the best. And it's like, no, you're delusional, people.
Okay.
He's a good guy, whatever, you like him, but he is not a good quarterback.
Okay, you know,
Exactly,
he's not
Patrick,
a
by the
great
way.
quarterback, but that team was 1 and 4, man, before he took over and led them to the playoffs and a playoff win.
Okay, Jake Plummer is 2 and 4 in the playoffs. Is what it says here.
Okay.
Well, that's one more than well, did Tebow? That was a wild card game.
Oh yeah.
It was a wild card
uh,
because then they went to the Patriots and got the wheels blown off
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, but didn't they beat who is it? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they beat a good
In that game?
Pittsburgh team. That was a good.
Yeah, I mean that was Pittsburgh in their
Yeah,
prime
Ben
with
Roethlisberger. was still,
Roethlisberger.
prime, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
That was a very good Pittsburgh team. I think James Harrison was still on there too. Palomalu.
Very true. Jay says Lynch driving the cart on Cows Field. Yeah, that was interesting. He did go legend there. The Seattle. It's a joke. The Seattle fans literally would throw Skittles on the field. Like
Yeah.
when he scored a touchdown, he'd pick them up and eat them. Like
Oh yeah.
guys, when the cameras were off and you were on the TV timeout, like returners that were back there, they'd pick up a Skittle and just pop it in. It was crazy during that time. And the Beastquake, that was real.
You know, some turf flavored Skittles, man. You gotta love it.
Well, have you heard some of the studies that are going on about the field turf with the granulated tires? There's been a lot of women's soccer players and other women's sports that have had some cancers that they think could be the result of it. And so now there's a lot of more, or I should say there's a lot more studies that are going into that because obviously some sports spend more time on the ground than others, football, i.e. But that was interesting because most of the fields are now field turf.
Women's sports, not men's.
Women's, yeah, interesting, huh?
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, cancer. Yeah, BJ's right. He's putting.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds
I know,
about right.
I know players hate turf in general, just for all the injuries it causes.
Okay, but players, trust me, the players would take this turf over what used to be called
AstroTurf.
turf.
Oh,
It was
AstroTurf.
carpet
Oh.
back in the day.
On
Like,
concrete.
Terrible.
yes. Yeah, exactly.
And that's when you could like level people too, throw them up in the ground and pile drive them. I mean, yeah, that was in the days before the CTE, and you could plow people.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'd rather play nowadays conditions than
Oh yeah,
go back then on AstroTurf and have Lawrence Taylor kill me.
yes.
I don't know if it was before CTE. It was before we knew about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you do. So BJ's throwing some points in there about that. I mean, you do hear a lot these days about plastics and stuff like that. So it would make sense if it's made out of tire, basically a
Yeah.
granulated tire. And that stuff does get everywhere. If you've ever played on those fields, it's kind of like those, like if your kids ever break up the styrofoam and it just goes everywhere.
Oh, you see it sticking to people's faces. 'Cause
Yes.
It comes up in the, when they get
Yep.
tackled, and it's stuck to them in their.
Up
Trying
your
to-
nose,
yeah,
in your
yeah, yeah,
mouth. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. So, Haunted Horse, what do you have going on at 5:00 today?
I got a show. I will finish your question on what the rat family thing. I got a show. I'm moving my show I got a show Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. It's tricky how to word this. Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. where I'm solo, and then you and I do the shows Tuesday through Thursday as co-hosts. So yeah, I'm doing shows now Friday. And it's funny because it's because of you. You know, you're doing all these shows. And I'm like, God, I'm lazy. I need to at least do 5 a week if you're doing 13 a week. So yeah, so I got a show today, Friday.
13 is a light week. So you get 5. You get
Yeah, that's
7.
not even counting the Grant 8 o'clock shows. I'm talking about your 5 podcasts, your 3 water holes, your 5
7 podcasts,
2 o'clocks,
7.
Yeah, because you do those on the week. Yeah, it's way more than 13. But anyway,
fun.
I'm
I
trying to
love
do
it.
5, and they're hard. So
Well, you also
what we talked about, if anyone is listening, current Jim Rome, I know he's not in Sacramento, but there's so many ways to watch him now. You can watch him on X. He's had the Rat Family way back when, and we did a story on the water hole 2 weeks ago about apparently Gen Z, and I don't even know what age bracket that is, but young women are finding boyfriends or guys that look like rats with rat tendencies attractive. So they're calling it the Rat Boy Summer because girls are looking for boyfriends that look like rat features. And we did that story 2 weeks ago, and Rome started talking about it yesterday. Yes, there's wax. Yeah, people that look like that. Now apparently that's sexy and attractive. Women are attracted to boys and men that look like rats. And so that's the thing. And Rome talked about it yesterday. We were 2 weeks ahead of the Rome yesterday. And I guess Boomer Esiason was talking about it before that. So that's the hot topic right now. Girls attracted to men that look like rats. And we were on that 2 weeks ago. So yeah, there you go.
That guy kind of looks like the dude from Princess and the Frog. I've got little kids, so I don't know.
Yes. Lauren. Lauren.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
compared some famous actors to Stuart Little. Like this guy looks like Stuart Little, and he's
You know what?
cute. And the Ratatouille rat. And anyway, so yeah.
You know, if
it's
that's
a
what it
hot
takes to
story.
get girls these days, man.
Yeah,
You know,
they
you
want
Gotta go
rats.
get plastic surgery and look like a
Yeah,
rat.
no, just get me some mutagen and call me Master Splinter.
There you go.
I didn't realize who Master
You didn't
Splinter
know what
was
that
until
was, 'cause
yesterday.
That was a tweet read on the Rome show. He goes, "Who's Master Splinter?"
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the time.
You
I
didn't
just
make the correlation. Yeah,
did not make the
Hey,
correlation.
that series still going on, man.
Yep,
Yeah,
no
still
doubt.
making movies.
No
Yeah,
doubt. All right.
Because Rat Boy will never cheat. I like that comment.
Corn Dog Horsey, I'm dropping you guys off. I'm going to let Adam get us our WWE update, and we are going to get ready to wrap up. Corn Dog, closing thoughts for you.
Closing thoughts. Make this a series, Dallas.
There you go. Make it a series, Dallas. Corn Dog, make sure you're back with us at 8 o'clock tonight, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Love to hear from you. All right. Haunted Horse, any last words?
You find all my shit. Can we swear? You can
Yeah,
find my
you can swear.
stuff. You can find all my stuff hollywoodrejects.com. So if you're interested in the t-shirt or the show at 5, that's where I'm at. Otherwise, have a good weekend, everybody.
Appreciate you, brother.
And talk to you later. Bye.
All right.
Later.
No, you're sticking around for a second. You can
Oh,
say
no.
bye to him.
I was just
Yeah.
saying bye to those guys. Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
dial us in. Your WWE couple minutes for the week. Go.
All right, sir. Well, let's start off with the big news before we get into the pay-per-view. WWE posted the other day that Ricochet is out for an unknown amount of time with undisclosed injuries suffered by Braun Breaker. But the chatter there is that he's going to be ending up in AEW or the New Japan circuit. I hope he doesn't go to New Japan because then that means that maybe Samantha Irwin goes over or leaves WWE to live in Japan, I would assume, to be with her husband. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think they probably underutilized Ricochet a little bit, but this kind of goes to my next point. I think we need to bring back belts like the TV champ. We missed that one. Or like the cruiserweight belts. I think that could be good for a guy who's undersized, like Ricochet. And even a dude like Carmelo, I think that could be a good belt for those guys, because I don't think that it's believable. Let's suspend reality here for a little bit, but for a dude like Carmelo Hayes to be the world heavyweight champion is not really like believable to me.
I gotcha. Yeah, they felt like for a while they had too many, but I would not be necessarily opposed to that. Ricochet, when they wrote him off TV, that was a nasty bump that he took on the concrete when Braun Breaker threw him off the TV truck or whatever.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Crap, that was brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think if he does leave, at least he left on kind of like a cool note, I suppose, and it is believable because Braun Breaker did sort of wreck him there. But okay, the final testament. All right, who the hell is this old dude with the one white glove?
Paul Ellering. So it's funny. WWE was talking about that, or the talking heads were talking about it. They're like, this dude's like 70 some years old. Maybe I'm being kind. He might be in his 80s. I'm not completely sure. But like the thinking was he only needs to show up on TV. But yeah, he's looking pretty.
He looks like the dude from Judas Priest is what he reminds me of. But I don't know. Let's see. I guess we can start hitting some of the matches for Clash at the Castle. Not in any particular order, but we got the triple threat match for the women's tag team championships. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. What do you think?
I think Belair and Jade retain, obviously, the Alba. What was it? Alba Fire and
Isla Dawn.
So they're from Scotland. So in fact, SmackDown tonight is from Scotland, so that'll be popping. But
correct.
But so they'll get a big performance. I don't think WWE puts them over there because they're gonna. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, what do you?
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm with you. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
I do think though probably there's going to be some seeds planted starting in between, maybe even starting at the pay-per-view. Where there's going to be a breakup between Jade and Bianca. Maybe they lose the titles at Money in the Bank, and then you roll that into a SummerSlam match.
100%. I could see that. I didn't really think about that, so that's a good point. I think that split's got to happen eventually, and then they kind of go their separate ways. But I don't know. I could see a push for Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler too. I don't think they're there yet, but we'll see.
I just don't think it's quite their time yet, and here's why. It's because Shayna just got beat by Lola Vice or whatever in NXT. I just maybe you could be right. They could be the successors. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if they're there yet. I think they've been trying so hard with Shayna Baszler, and I think they her and Zoe Stark make like a good tag team together. They kind of have that same vibe and sort of that like ruthlessness. They're probably trying to replace what's her name? UFC Ronda Rousey. Geez, she's only been gone for a few months, but out of sight, out of mind. But I think they're kind of the successors to that.
Yep, they just need a mouthpiece. Both of them aren't that good on the mic. So, All right, next match.
Women's championship belt: Bayley versus Piper Niven. Again, another Scottish chick.
I still think Bayley goes over here. I don't see it being Piper that gets the big moment in Scotland. There's just not enough behind her. Maybe they pull a shocker. Who knows? How about you?
No, I'm with you. I do think it's going to be Bayley, but I'll just say I like Piper Niven. I really like her and Chelsea Green together.
I do.
Ever since they Chelsea was looking for a teammate for the championship belt, and Piper came in and was like, I'm your teammate or whatever. But
Yep.
they're kind of fun. And speaking of Chelsea Green, like I'm sad that they moved her to SmackDown because Samantha Irwin announcing her was
Yeah.
always the best. Like
And
Chelsea
Green. Yeah.
that was
Very
too good.
point.
So
Yep.
I'm with you on that one. The Intercontinental Championship, we got Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. I don't know. I think this might be a chance for Chad to get it and just make him over as a huge heel. I don't think he would hold the belt for too long if he does get it, but it feels like Sammy has kind of been that guy to transition into the next champion. You know, and it was him
I
and Kevin
agree.
Owens beating the Usos for the tag championships last year or whatever. So, you know, I could see it go both ways. And I think this could put Chad over as like the mega heel. And, you know, maybe that causes a split for Alpha Academy, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I think we talked about this one before because they're teasing the Otis thing. So there's either two options there. Chad's going to have to go through Otis first, but then how do you rehash the Sammy and Chad stuff? Because ultimately Chad's going to get that belt unless they bypass that belt, give him Money in the Bank, which I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Sammy is transitional. I think what they probably do, I'm going to go on a limb here. I think Otis will actually have, wait, no, I've got to get there first. Damn it. I was going to say something that'll lead to a 3-way between Sammy, Chad, and Otis. I don't know. Maybe that gets kicked down the road to the next pay-per-view.
Well, you were kind of making me think a little bit. Maybe this is the moment that Otis turns on Chad Gable ringside. Sammy retains the belt. Now they're all split up. There's no faction there, and then they could have some sort of 3-way rivalry match, something like that.
Progressives, like I stopped watching wrestling just after they changed the name from WWF. Yeah, well, we'll get through it. I know, Progressive. Not everybody loves wrestling.
Hey, I get it.
I get it. We're not judging. All right. By the way, Kings fans, really quick, so I want to give you credit on this. The Kings team store was selling Malik Monk merch at 20% off last weekend. That's interesting, but there's a Kings nugget inside the wrestling segment. All right, and Adam is the one that pointed that out, so I want to give you credit there. All right, next match.
Wrestling is not for kids, and I think it's going to be less and less for kids in the future. Okay, I'm gonna go right into the Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles match because I want to save the Damian Priest Drew McIntyre one for the last. But I think I think this one's kind of a no-brainer that Cody beats AJ here.
Yep.
I don't think there's any chance, right? So
yep.
I don't think there's much to say about that one.
I agree, my friend.
Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Come on, baby. It's Drew's time. Come on.
It is Drew's time. It totally is. How do you factor CM Punk into it? I
was thinking, sorry, I think Drew wins and I think CM Punk comes out and I think Drew beats his ass. And I hope that's what happens because I think that would just
him come out then. Oh, you mean come out during the match and then
like after the match or something like that, or maybe even during. But I think they're just going to put that Scotland crowd over.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, I think it's Drew's. Punk, they'll figure it out. It's going to be Punk Drew at well, no, it's not because you've got to get to Gunther. Unless Gunther goes after Rhodes, that makes more sense to me because then you have the American versus European thing. But Gunther,
maybe we should look at the PLE schedule coming up, see if they got anything in Germany
it's
or
money
Austria.
It's Money in the Bank, and then it's SummerSlam. So I think it's Drew. Somehow they'll bridge it. Maybe that's where you get rid of Drew and Punk, or maybe it leads to a Punk, Drew, and Gunther triple threat at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could see him putting Drew over Gunther at SummerSlam. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, and
no, Gunther will not lose until he wins the championship.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Really?
I think that they would make Gunther cut his teeth a little bit, and I mean, not that he hasn't, but he hasn't really gone for one of the big two titles.
Okay, fair enough. That's why we do this. Do this. Any big surprises outside of that? I do know this, that QR code that keeps popping up. If you scanned it the last time, and I'm sure it'll pop up again tonight, it had a countdown on it, and I'm not sure if the countdown was for the pay-per-view or the Monday Night Raw after. It might be the pay-per-view. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows, man? I feel like they might say something like that for a Raw or SmackDown, right? But you never know.
No doubt.
And Progressive, I want to get back into the WWE, but I feel like I'd be so lost. I'm with you, man. I went to, or whatever, or lady. I didn't start rewatching it up until a few years ago. I went to WrestleMania here in Dallas, and I immediately got hooked right back into it. So hop in, watch, a month of Raw and SmackDown, and you'll kind of get it. All-time favorite wrestler. It's, it's probably Stone Cold, but it wouldn't be Stone Cold without Hulk Hogan. So
interesting. Progressive. I was like you. I was watching Attitude Era, stopped, graduated college. One of my buddies, I think I've told this story on here. He got a job with WWE. He's on the travel list. When they came to Sacramento, he had me out to hang out, and immediately I was pulled back in. But I will say this, Progressive, it's the best time to do it because it's Triple H's company now, not Vince's, with the creative control, and it makes a whole world of difference. BJ, I'm going to get the sports card investor guy on here, and we will continue to talk cards. That was a hot topic. That one got the chat going for sure. And favorite wrestler. As a kid, it was the Ultimate Warrior, hands down. Ultimate Warrior. My favorite wrestler, because I've met him and because I've hung out with him, and I have his telephone number, even though I'm scared to use it. Randy Orton, 100%.
Okay, so I'll tell a story about one wrestler that I met once upon a time. I used to work at a bar in Phoenix. And I used to host these like adult tricycle races on Monday nights. And so I would there's not a whole lot of people lining up to go do this. So I would go to like each table and, hey, do you guys want to join the adult tricycle racing? I'll give you a $50 gift card if you win. So I go up to this older guy and he goes, do you know who I am, son? And I go, no, I don't. And he goes, I'm the honky tonk man. And I go, holy shit, you are the honky tonk man.
Holy shit, you
are. I did not get him to race tricycles, but we did take a shot at tequila together. So that's
cool. That's
an
awesome
fun
story, dude. I love it. Closing words, our WWE correspondent, Adam.
Let's go. Kneel to the steel. It's Drew's time, baby. Let's go.
I agree with you, brother. The priest stuff is just bad. It's not.
Yeah, and I just think like Liv is going to end up making Dom cave. She's going to dump him. I think once Mommy comes back, because she just wants to take everything from them. They'll split up. The Carlito thing with Judgment Day is kind of weird to me too. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So I think it's time to split up Judgment Day.
For show. All right. Until next week, we'll be breaking down the pay-per-view. Appreciate you, Adam.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Happy
right,
Father's Day.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Thank you.
That is Adam, our WWE guy. What a full Friday. This has been a fun one. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We have covered a ton of topics. Grant and I are going to be back tonight at 8 o'clock after the NBA Finals. We will break down game 4. Selfishly, I am hoping this is the last game because I'm not sure I could stomach another game right now. Between the two teams, it's just not meshing well. It's not fun basketball really to watch. It is here in spurts. Yeah, Mark, I love this, by the way. And Progressive, if you're gonna say who our favorite wrestlers are, ask that. You got to tell us who your favorite wrestler is. Come on. But no, when I went to meet my buddy, one of the guys he hung out with all the time was Randy Orton, and so we went to dinner. It used to, what was the name of that place in Natomas? Malabar? Yeah, they might still be there. We went to dinner there, but dude had like his own tour bus. It was like a home on wheels, but cool ass dude, cool freaking tattoos in person. Appreciate it. Horse, thank you so much. Make sure you go support Haunted Horse, 5 o'clock tonight. Go to HollywoodRejects.com for that. Everybody in the chat, thank you all so much. It has been a fun week. You know, Progressive, Randy Savage was a G. Straight G. Straight up G. You remember when he took the Cobra to the arm? Even though that snake didn't have venom, that would still scare the hell out of me. But Savage was a great wrestler. And then also who was the other person you put really quick? It was Savage, and you made Stone Cold. Bret Hart too. The Royal Rumble came to Sacramento in '92. I remember being I would like jumped her. I was never Hulk Hogan guy. I was Ultimate Warrior, then to Bret Hart, then to Stone Cold for sure. And then I guess to Orton. So anyways, all right. News of the day for your Kings is Domantas Sabonis switching jersey numbers to number 11. That is credit of, dude, it's your segment. Thanks for coming on and doing it. You were prepared, my man. But the big news, Sabonis switching jersey numbers, that came from an interview with Sean Cunningham. You can go check him out on X and Fox 40 and the Kings Beat. As for us, we are out of here. Make sure you check out the Kings Court this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You'll get all new audio episodes, and have a wonderful Father's Day. I will do my Father's Day thing on Father's Day. I'll talk about my stories then, especially surrounding sports. I had such a unique childhood because of what my dad did for a living. But yes, very, very cool indeed. If you don't have your father, hope you have great memories of him. And yes, be safe, have fun. Be nice to somebody. Enjoy the NBA Finals tonight. Come back with us at 8 o'clock. We'll be right here. Grant will be here. I'm looking forward to answering some of these questions that Jay threw out, his conspiracy theories. Hopefully we are talking about the end of the NBA season, and we are gearing up for a ton, and I mean a ton, of draft coverage, both here on the Kings Court, also on Grant's channel. If you don't, well, we are on If You Don't Like That, but his shows as well. And then I dropped some of the names that will be joining the Kings Court, or hopefully joining the Kings Court in the coming weeks. One for sure, Gabriel Harris, general manager of your Stockton Kings. He'll be joining us after the draft. Efforting the G-Man. I'm hoping to get the G-Man next Friday, because that happens to be my 40th birthday. So we will see if we can get him on Friday. That'll be a lot of fun. And then also JaVale McGee. But either way, I don't care, because all of you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you. Tadora, hit it.
Holy moly, Jim Bowley.
That a girl. Go Kings, light the damn beam. Mark, Progressive, BJ, Jay, everybody in the chat. Those are the ones that I'm looking at right now. Thank you so much for being here all week. Can't wait to see you at 8 o'clock tonight. So long. Court is dismissed.